Good morning, this is Charlie, Seawolf69. I was going to take you some photos, but I figured that I would just run a little videotape to show you what I was talking about. If you're watching this right now, the picture you're seeing is about the same angle that you took that picture this morning. You notice that torsion spring bar is gone completely. It's not even there. I have no idea where it went. I think I have it in a drawer somewhere in case I decide to reinstall it. Right there is the reversing switch that I mentioned to you, the silver one. There's the regular stop, emergency stop switch. There's the front of your panel with the potentiometer. There's the elevating handles for raising the head up and down. And if you look right there, that is the portion of, that's the external view of the air springs that I installed to replace the torsion spring. The air springs are actually inside. I actually have a extra one here to show you what the springs look like. That is actually one of the air springs. Maybe we can get it to focus. No, it's not going to focus till you can get the numbers. I'll give you the numbers. Anyway, let's get back to the mill. That is the external air spring installation. There's where it couples to the head at, and that's the cable going up, over, and down into the head, and there's where it comes out and attaches to the top of the blocks. Now, if you notice, I have one finger on this. I'm going up and down just as easy as can be. No sweat. I can do it with my little finger. If you watch, this will go all the way down, crushing a dial indicator. It'll go all the way down to that block sitting on top of my angle gauge. If I remove my vise and that stop, it would all go even further down. I could put the spindle against the table. I don't remember exactly what I had when I got it in. I had about 8 inches of travel, but if you'll notice right now, I've got a digital readout on here that says 10 and a quarter inches right now. When I bring it all the way up, it should go back to 0, which it does. And that repeats. Absolutely, it'll come right to the top of the column. If I'd have cut a notch into this block for the dovetails, it would have actually gone a little higher, but I didn't think that was necessary. And what we were discussing this morning about the dropping, if you come down on it, that's what I have this indicator here. I'm going to put an indicator over here, and I'll come down against that indicator and stop moving, and it just stops dead. I'm a machinist, not a photographer, so. See, I move it and stop, it stops dead. It's no movement. Up the same way. As soon as I stop moving, it stops. And it stays that way. I'll start this, even when I lock the column, I'm going to lock the column now. No indicator movement that I could tell. I think it might have moved 1/4 of a thousand. No, it's not moving at all. Well, I bumped the dial, but I'm locking the column now. Now I'll unlock it. No movement. If I start up the spindle, there's no movement. Alright, now let's go to the reversing switch. There's a reversing switch I told you about. The position it's in right now puts all the wiring in the exact same position as your mill is, as it sits now, where it came from the factory. If I open the emergency switch, my potentiometer is 0. As I crank it up, the spindle will start turning. And I can increase the RPM. Now if I want to, not me, but if you want to stop your spindle so you can check something or get out of the way, you either have to hit the emergency stop switch to stop it, turn it back on. Now you have to go all the way down again with your potentiometer and come back up and try and guess at the RPM. The other way to stop it is come all the way down here, but you still have to go back up to get your RPM. Now that I put the reversing switch in, I don't have to hit the emergency stop. I don't have to turn the potentiometer down. All I have to do is bring my reversing switch to neutral, and the spindle stops. Now in order to start it back up at the same RPM, I just hit the switch. And in fact, if I'm tapping, I would be tapping at a much slower speed. As the tap fed down, I got to where I wanted to be. All I would do would be to hit the switch and bring the tap back out. Now you do want to make sure that that is a heavier duty switch. I have a 10 amp switch in there. The other thing we were discussing was the pulley system. There's a little noise in here, and right in there is the plastic idler gear that they claim goes out. You take that screw off, pop the gear off, put the new one in. Oh, excuse me, you couldn't see the screws. There's 4 screws here. 1, 2, 3, 4. You just take those 4 screws out, the whole motor assembly lifts up, you pop that gear off, put the new gear back on, put the motor back down. In order to change speeds now, I start the spindle up. There's my speed change lever in the back. All I do is flip it back. Sometimes you have to turn the spindle a little bit. Start it back up. Now it's in high speed. To go back to low speed, I turn it off, flip it back up, and I'm on low speed again. In order to change the pulley, if you had the belt drive, you have to loosen a lever up here, take the torsion off the belt, get underneath that cover, remove that cover, get underneath the cover, move the belt from one pulley to another on both shafts, tighten it back up, clamp it down, and then start your motor back up. I really think this is easier for me. Well, there you go. If you have any questions, give me a call. I'll be glad to take pictures of anything else you want. Excuse my mess. I use it every day. If I had to give up this or my drill press would be gone. And I have a nice drill press. I have a 5-foot high, 4-inch travel table drill press. I can't think of any more questions now. I can give you drawings for these parts for this piece. There's probably, I don't know, there's not a lot of money in there. Nickels and dimes for those screws and some aluminum. I could make the parts and send them to you for a little bit of money. I'd have to figure it out. It wouldn't be much, but it works great. It is so much more user-friendly than that. Stop, 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 stop. When you stop it, it stops. I've actually milled without before clamping it down, and it did a pretty good job in a light cut. Oh, something else doesn't really make any difference. I don't use it a lot. I've actually installed a light ring under my spindle in case I have to work in the dark. Got a little switch right here that operates that. Battery operated, so it doesn't take any power. Okay. Thank you. Hope you have a nice day. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to give me a call. As I said, I'm pretty much available all the time. I love talking to people. I love helping people out. Young guys, old guys, new guys, anybody getting into the business. This was my life for 30-something years, so, and it's my life again, so have a nice day.